This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Russian and Ukrainian officials hurled blame at each other over the collapse of a major dam in southern Ukraine, an incident that quickly triggered floods, threatened drinking water, and added a vexing dimension to the war. Guy Taylor and Mike Glenn report Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky charged that Russian occupiers controlling the Kakhovka Dam and hydroelectric power station had deliberately destroyed both. The Russian-installed head of the Kherson region, Vladimir Saldo, accused Ukrainian forces of striking the facilities with a missile attack. He claimed the strike had triggered a large but not critical amount of water to flow toward the hotly contested city of Kherson. The dam is situated in one of the most territorially contested areas of the war and provides water to the Russian-occupied Crimean Peninsula, as well as to cool the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, Europe's largest. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie announced he's running for the Republican presidential nomination in 2024, specifically targeting frontrunner and former President Donald Trump. Susan Ferricchio reports Christie kicked off his candidacy at a town hall event in New Hampshire, touting his 2 terms as governor of New Jersey, where he said he navigated the divided government by negotiating and compromising. Christie placed 6th in the 2016 New Hampshire presidential primary. He dropped out of the race soon after and endorsed Trump, but he has since soured on him and is now among his most vocal Republican critics. The threat of eradicating AM radio in American cars produced a rare scene of bipartisanship in Congress. Tom Howe reports Democratic and Republican lawmakers urged car makers to stop removing AM radio from electric vehicles and endorsed legislation to make AM radio mandatory in all automobiles. Automakers say they want to remove the old media form because EV batteries and high-voltage systems interfere with the signal, adding more static to the already crackly AM signal. Lawmakers said more than 45 million listeners rely on AM radio each month for local news, evacuation instructions, sports, and weather updates. House lawmakers are urging the Biden administration to take action to protect Americans in response to new details of North Korean hackers targeting U.S. officials. A slew of current and former U.S. officials, media executives, and national security researchers are the targets of the cyber attackers. Our Ryan Lovelace learned the hackers used sham emails to impersonate American officials. House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCaul said North Korean President Kim Jong-un's regime is a dangerous and malicious cyber actor that the U.S. and its allies must combat. Gun control advocates are targeting law school students as part of their fight against the firearm industry. Alex Sawyer reports they're asking future lawyers to sign pledges vowing not to represent gun manufacturers once they become licensed attorneys. The pledge encourages students to help law firms realize that acting on behalf of the gun industry could damage future recruitment of lawyers. The pledges, put forth by the Giffords Law Center and March for Our Lives, are non-binding. And finally, U.S. and Chinese military leaders squared off at a major security conference in Singapore. Bill Gertz reports China asserted that its forces are ready for war over Taiwan, while U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin chided China for its increasingly aggressive military actions in the region. The competing remarks underscored the depths of U.S.-China tensions. Despite those, the Biden administration continues to seek a detente with China. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/frontpage or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.